Fire crews are reporting some progress now in the nearly week-long battle. They're getting containment on the two largest fires burning in LA County. Starting off with the Palisades fire, that's still the largest one burning there. The fire crews in the area have mapped it out at over 23,000 acres right now. Containment is at 14%. So far, it has destroyed more than 5,000 structures, many of them homes. Meanwhile, officials say the Eaton fire, that's the second largest one, has burned more than 14,000 acres. The fire has not grown in size over the past 3 days, and containment on this one is now up to 33%. Officials estimate that the Eaton fire has destroyed more than 7,000 structures.
The critical gains over the weekend could be tested. Gusty winds are expected to return through Wednesday. CAL FIRE officials today saying the entire region needs to be prepared for new fire starts. And the county's fire chief warning about the weather conditions that could make a new fire grow quickly.
Severe fire weather conditions will continue through Wednesday. Please be assured that all fire departments and all law enforcement agencies in the area will be prepared. The anticipated winds combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures will keep the fire threat in all of Los Angeles County critical.
The chief of CAL FIRE also says not only do they have the crews with all the resources out there already fighting the active fires, but they also have a mobilization center in Southern California prepared to respond to any additional fires that may pop up. The returning dry offshore winds threaten to ignite hot spots on these fires. Let's check in with meteorologist Heather Waldman for a check of those conditions.
Yeah, we do have a red flag warning that extends not just for Los Angeles County, but from the San Luis Obispo Mountains all the way through interior San Diego County. This is through noon on Wednesday. Anywhere in this area, winds will be gusting between 30 and 50 miles per hour. Not the entire time, but at times those gusty winds would make any new fire starts spread very quickly. That combined with the low humidity and just the very dry fuels also just makes a new fire start easier compared to, say, us here in Northern California, where we have had plenty of rain and the grass is nice and green. The brush has plenty of moisture as well. I want to highlight two areas, though, here in Fuchsia, southern Ventura County and parts of Los Angeles County from the San Fernando Valley on northward towards Santa Clarita. This is where we could see wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Now, whether or not we see a new fire start, winds of that magnitude can cause damage on their own. Because of that, the National Weather Service is highlighting this area specifically as a particularly dangerous situation. Not unlike what we saw last Tuesday when the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire both started. Here are the latest perimeters for these fires. The good news is neither have grown in the last 24 hours. You see the red flag warning highlighted there. We will still be watching for winds, but our satellite here not picking up on any hot spots, at least not from the big view. This has been the case all day and really for much of yesterday, too, a sign that there hasn't been much activity on the fire. I want to talk about the Palisades fire specifically. In the first 48 hours, the fire grew over 19,000 acres. The past few days, it grew maybe 1,300 acres per day, but so far today, no new areas burned, which is great news. It shows that those containment lines so far are holding. Back to you.
All right, that sounds great, Heather. Thank you. Well, during our 4 o'clock hour today, we spoke live with NBC reporter Jennifer Bjorklund on the scene.
We asked her what the situation is like in Pacific Palisades now as people are learning their homes and schools are completely gone.
Here in Pacific Palisades, you can see behind me there's a school here. It's very recognizable to people who know Pacific Palisades. It's the village school, and that's the tower, and that is not going to be rebuilt with kids attending anytime soon. That's the problem. A lot of people looking for short-term, mid-term housing, but also where are the kids going to go to school? What happens next? What about the employees of all these restaurants and businesses that have burned? This is an office complex behind us that is now gutted by fire.
Jennifer says nearby hotels and Airbnbs are filling up with people searching for a short-term place to stay.
Well, authorities say that the area is still too dangerous for people to return, and today a half dozen people were charged with looting in the evacuation zones of Altadena and Pacific Palisades. The 5 men and 1 woman were charged with burglary after suspected break-ins that happened Wednesday. 4 people were arrested over the weekend for illegally going into the Eaton fire evacuation zone, and another person was charged with interfering with emergency workers. The National Guard continues to keep an eye on key checkpoints. Hundreds of troops have been in place since last week. The California Highway Patrol is also assisting local law enforcement to protect homes and businesses in the evacuation zones.
California Democratic legislative leaders and Governor Gavin Newsom announced they're expanding their current special legislative session to protect California from Donald Trump to now also focus on recovery and emergency response to those LA wildfires. The new special legislative session proposal for LA includes $2.5 billion to help with emergency response, help schools rebuild, and increase wildfire preparedness in the area. $1 billion of that money would come from the state's emergency funds. The other $1.5 billion would come from the climate bond voters passed in November that was known as Proposition 4. The state legislature is expecting the Trump administration to reimburse these costs. Now, the first hearing on this proposal is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon in the state Senate. Now, this also comes as California lawmakers prepare to earmark $50 million to prepare for the incoming Donald Trump administration. Half of that money would go to the California Department of Justice to prepare for legal battles. I caught up with Attorney General Rob Bonta at a Sacramento Press Club luncheon today and asked him for his message to those in Southern California who see lawmakers prioritizing the Trump-related special session while those fires are raging. What is your message to Southern Californians who see the activity up here around the special session, still prioritizing, still trying to do it before Trump takes office, while this very active scene is unfolding?
We walk and we chew gum at the same time. We have to, and we do many things at once. And if we stopped everything to do one thing, there are a lot of things that are important that wouldn't get done. So I think it's appropriate to be focusing incredible resources appropriately on LA to address the wildfires, and it's appropriate to continue on the pathway to progress that we're on. And we're not looking for a fight, but if the Trump administration picks one with us and the progress, that pathway that we're on, then we'll defend ourselves.
Now, the first hearing on the Trump-related proposals was actually scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday morning, but they have been postponed until further notice. The chairman of the committee that was going to hear that proposal, Assemblyman Jesse Gabriel, he represents a part of Southern California that's currently on fire.
Well, we're now learning that 6 days before the Pacific Palisades fire, there was another fire that had broken out on that same hillside on New Year's Day.
So take a look at this. This is a photo from the early morning fire on January 1st. The man who took it says this is from his backyard in Pacific Palisades. Residents called 911 about reports of fireworks, and firefighters got that fire under control. Then, this is a photo from that same man on the day of the Palisades fire. Those flames ignited in the same spot. While firefighters have said the cause is under investigation, a reporter with the San Francisco Chronicle showed the photos to a pair of experts in wildfire investigations. Here's what they told him.
January 1st to January 7th is 6 days. I'm not a fire expert. For me, that felt like a long time for a fire to be smoldering, especially since firefighters spent a good portion of the day there wetting it down. That being said, when I spoke to the experts, they said absolutely not. 6 days is nothing. In those conditions where it's super dry, dead vegetation, the soil is crusted so hard that water has trouble penetrating it. And even so, the fire goes into the roots of this dead vegetation and smolders as low as a foot below the surface. So to fully get that fire cold is incredibly difficult, especially on steep terrain like that. And they said it was incredibly plausible that it could start even 6 days later.
And this afternoon, we could see federal investigators in the area where the Palisades fire started. NBC News is reporting that sources say the early part of the investigation has authorities looking at a potential human cause to the start of that fire. At this time, no conclusions have been reached.
Well, happening tomorrow, KCRA will be partnering with the American Red Cross for a telethon to help victims of the wildfires. That runs from 6 in the morning till 11:30 p.m. And you can donate online, or we'll have a phone number where you can call.
We will continue to follow developments on the Southern California wildfires, both on air and on our KCRA 3 News app. Make sure you turn on push alerts to get the latest news.